Hello, gang. Um, what the hell is today? Today's Wednesday. Hi, guys. I am hoping that my connection is strong enough. We're having a very windy day here in New York City. And yes, I said New York City. So that means I'm not in Texas like I should be. And I'm coming to you from my kitchen because my friend Tommy said to me while we were, hi, Mish. Hi, Aunt Gail. Let me know if I'm clear. My friend Tommy said to me when we were in Florida, he's like, I love watching your videos, but I hate looking at you on that white backdrop. And we have really weird walls in our apartment in Connecticut, in Manhattan, New York. So, I don't like hanging things on them because I'm afraid they're going to fall off. So you're in my kitchen right now, and we tape stuff to the walls in the kitchen to make it brighter and more fun. So those are this year's birthday cards. For Will and for myself from the kids. Okay, good. Thank you. So, we're talking about going with the flow today and how plans change. Because here's the deal. I'm actually supposed to be on an airplane right now going to Dallas for some book stuff. And that got postponed to April because one of the women that I'm working with has pneumonia. And so Dana, if you're watching or is watching, you're going to watch the replay. I hope you're feeling better. I know you and I have been in contact. And when I found out that we were having to change the plan, I was a little bit sad, but then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of relieved because in, true going with the flow fashion, my life for the last 2 weeks has been nothing but a roller coaster and a fly by the seat of your pants kind of life. So I wanted to talk about that today because I'm the kind of person who can go with the flow and has made it part of my lifestyle, really. It's very easy for me to pick up and just go. It's easy for me to figure out how to make arrangements for other people, like my kids, or for Will, if we need to make arrangements for that. And I think it's important in the grand scheme of things in life. And so not to repeat myself 800 million times, but last week we had to fly to Florida at the drop of a hat because, my dad passed away. And so that was definitely not in the plan. And we had to change our whole schedule, the kids going to school, taking them out of school, getting in touch with their teachers, rearranging my schedule, canceling things, Will's job being extremely accommodating. So thank you to anybody who works at the Rachel Maddow Show. We certainly appreciate all of your accommodation for Will last week. Could not have been more accommodating, could not have been more kind, generous, and caring. But it's something that, we all have to deal with at some point in our lives. And some of us are really good at it, and some of us are not really good at it. And I was actually just doing laundry, and I was thinking about what I was going to say. And I feel like, when plans change, and it could be like great plans that you had, or it could be like crappy plans, like, spur of the moment, last minute, something comes up, someone is sick, there's an accident, there's something that you have to tend to. Or a trip gets canceled because of a sickness or a change in plans or whatever. And being able to digest it and accept it is really what's important. You might not like it. I don't like that my father passed away. I don't like that my trip got postponed, but I have to accept it. And being in the right mindset to accept things as they come, as they're presented to you, as you are blocking and tackling through your life. I like to use that metaphor with my kids a lot. Hi, Bagone. Blocking and tackling is exactly how I like to, run it. It's like, okay, we're running the play, we're making it happen, and you have to block through this and tackle through that to make it to the finish line or the goal post or wherever it is that you're focusing on or aiming for. So how do we become more accepting of plans changing on the dime? And for me, I know it's really just having the right frame of mind for whatever it is I'm walking into. And you can really change the way somebody else is reacting to you or thinking by the way that you approach a situation. when I had to talk to or see my mom for the first time last week after my dad passed, I was really struggling with, how am I going to walk into this house? Am I going to be a wreck? Am I going to walk in and just be a blubbering, crying mess? Or am I going to walk into this house and have an attitude, not like that, a different attitude, not a blasé attitude, because I definitely didn't have that. But I really didn't want to make it a cryy, sad, overly emotional moment. I knew we were going to have those moments for an entire week, and I didn't want it to start off on like a snot-filled, blubbering foot. So as we were driving down from the airport, I was thinking about it. And when we walked into the house, my parents had just gone through the renovation after the hurricane, and I have not seen their home yet redone. And so when I walked in, my mom, I could see her sitting on the couch, and I chose to make a big deal about how the house looked instead of making a big deal about the situation. And so I walked in and said, oh my God, look how beautiful these floors look. And I love the paint color, and that couch is amazing. And everything looks so beautiful in here. And I think I kind of caught her off guard a little bit, because she turned around and she was crying, but she said to me, oh my God, doesn't it look great? I know. And so our beginning conversation wasn't about how sad we were, even though we were, and we had to try to figure out how to accept that. It was more about, let's try to find a way to power through it. And that's how mine works. I don't automatically go toward the negative. And I try to always, again, find the silver lining in the cloud. So, thank you, Begonia. I really appreciate that. I know it was a crazy week. Maybe we can see you guys when we come down for spring break in April. We'll be there for a few days. So that's what I'm trying to say is, figure out the mindset that you want to have when you are blocking and tackling through your life. Do you want it to be optimistic? Do you want it to be fun and fearless and engaging and all of those things? Because that's what I want my life to be. Or are you a glass half empty kind of person? I know a lot of you. I know a lot of glass half empty people. I know people that lead with the negative and not with the positive. And maybe that's just a symptom of past experiences, past relationships, past lives. I don't know. But I always choose to go in on the right foot. And I think that it helps diffuse situations. I think it helps set the tone for situations. I think it shows your children and the people who are around you that you are embracing, while you're embracing a situation, but you're looking at it in a different light, and you're trying to find the goodness or the positivity or the optimism in the situation. Now, trying to find optimism in death is never an easy thing. So when you think about that, my thought goes to, being at peace and not having any more suffering, and not having to deal with dialysis every other day, and not being tired and not being in pain. And so that makes me feel better, because, he's not there anymore, and he doesn't have to deal with that. And he's quiet, and he's resting, and somebody said to me recently that, now it's my turn for the suffering, but I don't feel like I'm suffering. I feel like I'm celebrating. I feel like that every time I talk about him, and I talk about the situation, and I talk about, what a beautiful week it actually turned out to be last week, I feel like it was all good. There wasn't anything bad. I mean, the bad thing was that he's not with us anymore, but he's not in pain, and he's not suffering, and he's at peace, and that brings peace to me. And it doesn't make me suffer. It makes me feel good about it. It makes me feel okay with it. It's not something that I want to accept, but it's something I have to accept. And so moving on through things like this, whether it is a relationship or a job or, a situation that you're in that you don't want to have to deal with, or that you don't want to be accepting of, try to find the positive message in there, because there is one. There's always a positive message at the end. The universe is throwing things at you, and you're moving and you're blocking and you're tackling and you're doing things for a reason. And I fully believe that. And when I get up in the morning and I talk to myself like I do all day long, I'm affirming what I want to happen to me during the day. I want to focus on finishing this project. I want to focus on creating this program. I want to focus on helping my clients and my people and my community. And that's what gets me through the day. And when something is thrown at me, it gives me the capability or having the equipment to be able to deal with it. And sometimes you just have to shut everything off. I shut a lot of things off last week because I needed to deal with the situation I was in and I couldn't focus on other things. And so I had other people focusing on those things for me. Jackie was a great help. Everybody in this community was a great help to me last week. And I can't even tell you how much I love you and I appreciate you for that. But because of that, I was able to move through my stuff and help people move through their stuff and have it be, a learning experience and a growing experience and an experience that, a first-time experience for my kids and for other people. And it changes how you look at the way you want your life to be. And so when my trip got canceled or postponed, we're going to say postponed because I'm going in April. I already have my tickets for that. I was like, oh man, that's such a bummer. And meanwhile, I was getting off a plane and I was getting right back on a plane. And so I was thinking about it yesterday. I had, a day and a half to think about it. And I was thinking about it yesterday and I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. I take off some time to be able to get this done. And so I need some more time to finish my project. And now that I've been through this most recent life event, I want to write about it. And so now I have a whole other chunk of my book that I want to include. So I'm not finished where I thought I actually was finished. And so now I have a month, and I have a month to add important things that I want to put in there and tell my story, another story in a different way, in a different light, and shed that information and share it with you guys when I finally finish this book. And I think that was part of the reason why I had to be postponed. And sickness played a part in it, and the situation at hand played a part in it, and the universe was telling us that it's not the right time, and that I needed a little bit more time, and Dana needed a little bit more time, and Carrie needed a little bit more time, and so we all needed time to do what we needed to do, so we can come together in a few weeks and really blow it out of the water. And that's the message that I'm taking out of this situation for me personally. So if you have a situation that you are trying to deal with, try to find the acceptance piece of it. Try to say to yourself, okay, this might suck, but there's a way to get through it. And this is how I'm going to get through it. And I'm going to put myself in the right mindset. And I'm going to be in the right frame of mind. And I'm going to have the right attitude. And I'm going to communicate it in a way to myself and to the people around me that doesn't make it seem so bad and doesn't make it seem so heavy. Because that's not really what life is about. And, I'm always trying to find the good stuff, this, and sometimes it's hard. And I have a friend who just lost her son, my dear friend Kathy, who I love and adore, and I could not be here for her because I was having my own loss. And she is every day finding the good in that tragedy. And I can't even imagine what the loss of a child it feels like. And I don't want to imagine that. But I will support my friends and family and anybody, my community, anybody I know who goes through that. There's a way to get through it. And there are going to be days when you don't want to get out of bed. And there are going to be days when you can't wait to get out of bed. And it's a very weird and strange process, the grieving process. And I've been talking to my mom every single day. And she's getting through it in a way that is impressing, I think, all of us, to be quite honest with you. 55 years spent with somebody is a really long time, and not really knowing what your life is without them or remembering your life without them is a very significant thing. And liking each other until the end is also a very significant thing. So but she's doing great. She's got plans every night. She's got a amazing support system of friends. And I think that that is just a testament to her attitude. And yes, we get off the phone every morning and one of us is in tears, or, you know, we're remembering something that we have to do or whatever. And that's great. Get it out. Talk about it. Cry about it. Communicate it, because that's important. And having people in your life who, I'm going to walk this way because I feel like I'm losing my whoozy whatsy. That's important too, because being able to make it through what you need to make it through is just as important as getting through it. Like you need to find the lining in the cloud. So that is my story for today. I'm not in Texas. I will be in Texas in April. I'm finishing the book. I have another piece of it that I have to write. So I'm taking this message from the universe as a message to focus on what I need to focus on, refocus on what I need to refocus on. Jackie and I spent a long time together this morning because we haven't really talked to each other because I was out of pocket for a week. And we have a lot of really great things coming for the Why Am I Yelling clan and group. So April's going to be an exciting and fun and lots of announcements month. So stay tuned. And tomorrow, I don't even know what day it is. Tomorrow's Thursday. Today's Wednesday. I don't even know. I got a text at 4:30 yesterday afternoon saying that Elias didn't have school today, and I almost lost my mind. I was like, what are you talking about? But he went to daycare instead. So I'm free. So that's it. That's my message for today. Changing plans. I had to think about it, right? I've been talking about it for 10 minutes. Changing plans and finding acceptance are really all about having the right mindset. There's your answer. I hope you guys have an awesome day. The sun is shining here, but it's miserably cold. And it is the second or third day of spring. I'm so ready for this nasty, gross, ugly snow to be melted. And I want the sun to come out and for it to be at least 65 degrees. That's all I care about. Have an awesome day. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow, I think. And if not, definitely Friday. So have an awesome day. We'll talk to you guys soon, and block and tackle, everybody. Block and tackle. Mwah. Bye.